Hey, talk about some games. There are some fabulous games going on. To talk about it is the one, the only Steve Clarke. It's time for Inside the Game. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
And we want to start first with, of course, the World Cup and the reinstatement of Balogun.
Yeah, Folarin Balogun had his red card overturned. And, I have to admit, I really don't know a whole lot about World Cup soccer and the way things are done. But when it initially happened, basically everybody thought it shouldn't have been a red card. But they also added, now that it's been called, it's probably very unlikely it's going to be reversed.
Right.
Well, it got reversed.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, people are really scratching their heads over it. And, of course, ABC News came out last night saying that President Trump asked for a review, to which some soccer insiders are still kind of dismayed, but others are saying, there was one person on social media, I wish I could remember exactly who said it. He says, we're not accusing the U.S. of interference, but this would be the first time interference hadn't been dictated by somebody from a host country in the World Cup before. So I don't know what to think about it. For me to be upset and all in arms or say that this is something wrong or two wrongs don't make a right, I'm not exactly sure. But I think if the U.S. has a chance to beat Belgium tonight, Balogun needs to play. He is their best player.
Yeah,
no doubt. And it really was a wrong righted. Because, look, he broke, no doubt about it. The man that he stepped on, he broke his ankle. But it was not purposeful. It was not purposeful, and it had to be purposeful to get a red card. So, and everybody agreed it was not red card worthy. So we end up in the right place, probably maybe not by right means, but definitely in the right place.
And that's like
I don't
one
know.
of the
I mean,
toughest.
I saw some action last night between Mexico and England and going, is this a red? I mean, I don't understand it. And, of course, you're not only out for the game and have to play shorthanded, but you're out for the next game as well. Which, could you imagine in hockey? What would it take for somebody to get a red card? You're out for the game. The entire team plays 4 versus 5, and he's suspended for the next game. Oh, my gosh.
I'll tell you what, Mexico should have got a red card for the outside the game antics of their fans when they blasted horns outside the hotel to disrupt England's players' sleep. That was not very good sportsmanship.
No.
Well, but I'd hate to be
signed
a ref.
Ohio State fans to Michigan when they come to Columbus.
Yeah, exactly.
They learned well. Lost anyway, by the way. So England beating Mexico yesterday 3-2. So it's been fun. I don't know how much of it you've watched, Steve, but I'm not a soccer fan, football fan, whatever you want to say. But boy, has it been fun to watch. And so I'm hoping we win tonight.
Mission accomplished, for FIFA and the World Cup for allowing, North America to host, because if they've got a new fan on board for you, and if you start following teams and individual players, like, I don't know if you've seen this Thor-looking guy from Norway.
Oh, my gosh, I love him. I love that guy.
I mean, I almost want to start, figuring out who he is. And then there's a bunch of other great players that are emerging from World Cup or reasserting their dominance or becoming a little bit more known in the U.S., even though they're known internationally. If they get more people like you to kind of follow along post-World Cup, then it's going to really work out, because, the USA is just kind of the fans in the USA are just lagging behind in their knowledge and their excitement for it. But maybe they'll get a ton more now.
And it comes at a good time of the year, right? I mean, look, if this thing were being played in the middle of football season, it's not getting the kind of attention it's getting right now. But I think about that goalie from Cape Verde, 50,000 followers on social media before this, an island of 585,000 people. He has 20 million people on his social media following now.
He's gonna learn how to put on a headset and start entertaining everybody, for once a day. And I mean, that's how it's done. You get a whole bunch of new followers. They pay you, social media companies start paying you once you get enough people to follow you. And then you just got to create the content and, and make it good. And, that's what a lot of people in many of the sports that aren't paying them enough to live off on. Like, I think of the WNBA, the number of WNBA players who are learning to adapt to social media and be able to provide content all the time. so they can get a number of followers to continue to see and look at what they do is something else, and it's an alternative form of payment.
Yeah, I remember when kids would aspire, when I grow up, I'm going to be a football player. I'm going to be a baseball player. Now they say, I want to be a social media influencer.
Yeah, I know. Well, you mentioned WNBA. What did you think about that whole last thing with Clarke a few weeks ago where she got kind of beat
We
up
have
on
no
the
time. We do not have enough time for me to go through everything that needs to be discussed on this issue. But I think one of the things that we're starting to see is Clarke was like the most perfect athlete to represent a sport coming through. And now it's been a few years, but now we're seeing some things that are irritating some of the regular fans. And what examples are that? Well, the constant flopping that's going on just irritates everybody, whether you're a mega superstar or not. Look at LeBron James. People don't like LeBron because he constantly flops. And Clarke is looking for a foul every single time that somebody engages her defensively. And her attitude towards it when not getting the call, she's not getting back on defense. So Midwestern hardcore values say don't flop, which they do in soccer, of course. Don't flop and don't not get back on defense, wasting your time trying to plead with officiating. It rubs people the wrong way. So people are kind of seeing that at the same time. Of course, the same old arguments going on that there's jealousy, there's resentment. You should treat somebody a little bit better for, somebody who's, getting you paid thousands and thousands of dollars of more because that person exists. And of course, now some people are saying, look, we're popular now. We don't need you.
Right.
Is possibly going on there as well. So it's a really, really messy thing, but you start seeing two sides of an argument, and they say no such thing. There's no such thing as bad publicity. There's only publicity. I haven't experienced what it's like to be an official with the WNBA because they're getting a bad rap. Well, I would say a bad rap. Well, it may be very well earned, but they don't have the money to get good officials, and the officiating in the WNBA is a real problem right now.
That's a good point. Never thought about that. And that's drama
Pat,
all the time. People are sick of it.
There's many more layers of that onion to unravel and explain.
Yes.
But
wanted your insights. Yeah.
Takes more than a couple of minutes to get through all of that correctly.
You captured that pretty well. That's a good perspective.
Yeah, thanks.
And right there inside the game, there he is. It's Steve Clarke, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Steve.
USA. USA.
USA.